All right, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Vanland. Today we are getting totally tanked in Vanland. We're talking about water tanks. We actually sell a lot of water tanks here at Vanland, and of course they go onto all of our builds. Every good van should have its own water tank. So we wanted to give you guys an idea of the most common tanks that we're using and kind of where they go and what fittings they come with, most importantly, so you can know how to use them in your van build. First, we're going to talk about the tanks that go under your van. And essentially, we just use two different tanks when we need a tank to be mounted under the van. And here they are. These are the two of them. Starting with the RB Components Sprinter tank that actually mounts under the van, pretty much right behind the driver's seat. There's a perfect cavity for this to fit in, and it comes with a mounting kit. So basically you install the mounting kit and then the tank goes up in and you cinch it down, and this is a really sturdy water tank that is out of the way and is really pretty resistant to damage as well, since it has the metal frame all the way around it. So this is a 22-gallon tank, and I just wanted to show you guys the fittings that it comes with. Essentially, it has four 1/2 inch fittings here, and that's all the penetrations that this tank has on it. A lot of people want to use these for wastewater tanks, and just to let you know, you will have to create some of your own penetrations in this to bring in your wastewater and to release it out, because usually you want to have a slightly larger diameter wastewater drain than just a 1/2 inch. This one we use a lot, probably 50 to 75% of the builds that we do have one of these tanks on it. All right, secondly, we have the Northwest Conversions spare tire tank. So basically, when you take the spare tire out from underneath the van, you have a spot to really easily put this tank in. Now, you don't need a special mounting bracket. The cage that holds the spare tire, you simply crank it down, take out the tire, put in the tank, and crank it back up, and you have water underneath. So unlike the RB Components tank, no special brackets needed. Now, this is a 21-gallon tank, and the Northwest Conversions tanks come with considerably more penetrations in them. So on the top, you have a 1 1/2 inch. This is solid, so that if you're not going to use it, basically you don't do anything. If you do want to use it, then you can cut out the inside portion of it and screw in an 1.5 inch fitting, and then now you have an actual like wastewater tank. It has another one in this corner, which is super convenient. If you come around to this side, it has two 1/2 inch fittings, and then also another 1.5 inch fitting over here. And then finally, on the other side, you have another 1/2 inch fitting and another 1.5 inch fitting. So basically, you're not going to have to really cut any of your own penetrations in this, which is really nice. If you want to store water under your van and not take up space inside, these are the two tanks we'd recommend. The RB Components, which is a 22-gallon tank, and the Northwest Conversions, which is a 21-gallon tank. If you want to store water inside your van because maybe you're worried about it freezing, or you have space in the van and don't mind putting a tank in there, then these are the tanks you want to use. These are also by Northwest Conversions, and the cool thing is that these fit right over the wheel well, so space that would normally otherwise not be taken advantage of, you can put one of these water tanks there. They come in a number of different shapes and sizes. Essentially, you can have one on the left side of the van or the right side of the van over the wheel well, like this one. This is the SPL20. So this would go on the left side over the wheel well, and you can see that's the back side of the wheel well, and this is forward of it. So basically all of the fittings are going to be on the back and on the top. You can also get this same tank for the right side wheel well, and again, these hold 20 gallons. If you wanted to completely cover the wheel well and get some more storage, then this is the SPC24. So a 24-gallon tank, and basically all of the fittings on the back and on the front, so you have fittings kind of everywhere. This one being a center tank is obviously universal. You can put it on the left or the right side. And then also, if you need more storage, these are actually offered in 30 gallons for the L and R tanks, and up to 32 gallons for the C tank, which is centered over the wheel well. So you really can get a ton of water storage with these inside the van. The SBC 32 has become probably one of the most popular tanks because I think people are finding that water is one of the most common things that you have to replenish when you're on a van trip. Besides the diesel fuel and beer, then the next thing would be water. You have to always be filling up on. So having a little bit of extra water storage is really great. Obviously, water is heavy. You're talking 8 pounds per gallon. So the 30-gallon water tank completely full is adding about 250 pounds over the wheel well. Something to be, conscious of. And then also with the water tanks inside, you will hear a little bit more sloshing, but the way these are designed, you actually only have a channel on one side that the water can move back and forth, so it's really not as much kind of sloshing back and forth as you would think. So we're going to show you what these look like inside the van so you can get an idea of what tank might be right for your build. This beast has 3 water tanks on it, and all of the 3 that we showed you guys are represented here. Right behind the driver's seat, underneath is the RB Components 22-gallon tank. We have the Northwest Conversions spare tire tank under here as well, and then inside we have another wheel well tank. So basically altogether there's almost 50 gallons of freshwater storage on this van and about 22 gallons of waste since we're just collecting gray water. So if you kind of want to go all out and you've got a 170 van and you need tons of water, this is a good example of how you would do it. This here is the SPR 20-gallon tank. If you need to stop right at the edge of the wheel well, this is the tank to go with. It doesn't extend forward of that. So maybe if you're putting in a galley or something and you want to use all this space, then you'd go with the 20-gallon tank. This is available, for the right side or the left side. You can get it either way. This is the 24-gallon tank. Same thing, but it goes in front of the wheel well. Extends a little bit further forward, but gives you 4 extra gallons. This one's kind of nice because it sort of already locks in place. I mean, you would still need to put some sort of brackets on here to keep it from moving around, but it's just a really good use of this space. If you wanted to go with even more storage, this same tank is available in a 32-gallon. It just ends up being a little bit taller and comes back a little bit further. All the dimensions are on the website. But yeah, basically, if you want to store water inside, these are kind of the perfect way to go. If you're wondering which of these tanks that you should get, then of course you want to consider how much water that are you going to use in your van on a daily basis. If you're traveling, let's just say with 2 people, and you have a shower and a sink and basically would take a shower on a daily basis, do all of your cooking and all of your washing in the van, then I would say you're probably going to be using about 10 gallons per day for 2 people. Of course, if you're more conservative, you can cut that in half. But if you're just using it liberally like you might at home, you're going to be using maybe up to 10 gallons. If you don't have a shower in your van and generally you're just using it to kind of wash your hands or maybe using an outdoor shower to kind of wash the feet off or something like that, for 2 people, you're going to be more in the neighborhood of 5 gallons per day or maybe 6, somewhere in that neighborhood. So if you have 20 gallons of water storage or 24 gallons of water storage and you're using 6 gallons a day, you'll have 4 days of water in this tank. If you go up to the 32-gallon tank because you have a shower and maybe you're using more like 10 gallons a day, then you'll have 3 to maybe 4 days of water. In my opinion, you at least want to carry 3 days of water with you. Water is one of the things that you'll end up running out of quickly. You don't want to have water being the limiting factor on your trip. But on the other hand, water is heavy at 8 pounds a gallon. For every 10 gallons that you add, you've added 80 pounds of weight. So basically it's kind of finding that balance. I would say for most 144 vans, if you go with like a 24-gallon tank, you're probably going to be in a really good place in terms of weight versus amount of water storage. If you are, again, in a longer van with a shower and more amenities, I would definitely suggest going up to somewhere around 26 to 30 gallons of water, or maybe even a little more. One of the vans we just finished had 2 22-gallon water tanks for freshwater storage, plus our hot water heater, which holds 5 gallons of water. So that van was rocking 49 gallons of fresh water storage. So at almost 50 gallons, at 8 pounds a gallon, it's 400 pounds of water. So that's a lot. As a matter of fact, in a van like that, you really wouldn't fill both of the freshwater tanks just for a short trip. It's really when you're kind of leaving the grid and you're filling up and you want to head out on a long trip that you might go ahead and fill all of the water up. But at 50 gallons, you're looking at using water very liberally, showering every day, and using your sink and still having probably 5 days of water. So that's the water tanks we use. You can find all these on our website, of course. We try to keep all of our water tanks in stock so that if you need one, we can ship one right out to you. We really love the ones that we've chosen. I know that there are other water tanks out there that we would definitely also consider using, but with this selection of tanks, we feel like we have one for almost every build. All right, so thank you guys again for spending some time with us at Vanland. We love to have you. We love your comments. And thanks for watching, and we will see you guys again next time. Bye.